shot at making the Raiders of the wide receiver position. Montgomery also playing wide receiver this year. You might remember he was a running back last year. Kicking off now for the Dallas Cowboys will be John Baker, free agent rookie out of Arizona State University. He played last week. And we are just about ready for action. The first preseason game of the 1995 campaign, and here we go. Kick is taken by the 20, finds a little bit of daylight. Up to about the 29-yard line, and he stopped there. It'll be first down and 10 for the Oakland Raiders to get things started. Starting at quarterback for the Raiders, of course, will be Jim Hostetler, 6'3", 215 pounds. Hostetler now in his 12th year, coming off a fine season last year for the Raiders out of West Virginia. Completed just about 58 last year. It's his third year with the Raiders. Touchdown, 16 interceptions last year. He's always had a better touchdown to interception ratio. That's Tim Brown going in motion. And again, Harvey Williams running around the left side. Williams, good game on first down for the Raiders. And it's going to be close to a first down.
Tomó ese balón. Aquí están los receptores y los hombres de ataque para los Raiders. Harvey Williams, Derrick Fenner, Tim Brown, Rajit, el Rocket, Ismael y Kevin Smith. La línea ofensiva está conformada por Robert Jenkins, Wajniewski, Dan Turk, Kevin Hogan y Russell Freeman. A propósito, Dan Turk viene a reemplazar a Dan Boswell, que estaba lesionado. Viene otra vez, se prepara. Ojo Terrero, lo que le falta son casi centímetros. Otra vez va por tierra. Abre bien la línea ofensiva. Llegan hasta cerca de la mitad del campo.
El año pasado Harvey Williams fue tomado como agente libre de Kansas City, de los jefes de Kansas City, y pues tuvo una buena temporada.
La línea defensiva para los vaqueros, Tony Russell Maryland, Chad Hennings y Charles Haley. Están apoyados también por Dixon Edwards, Robert Jones y Godfrey Miles. Le acompaña la línea secundaria Clayton Brown, Brock Marion y Floyd Fields. A propósito, Marion es uno de los hombres que aquí ha radicado aquí por mucho tiempo. Viene a jugar contra gente que él conoce. Cuando Hostetler sigue preparando. Solamente un corredor atrás, busca el pase corto, casi interceptado. Sin embargo, completa el balón. El ala abierta de los 5.
Fue el Rocket, que este año pues lo están poniendo como titular. Ha sido un jugador que pues ha venido de menos a más, y este será el primer año como titular. Aquí lo tenemos, una excelente recepción, estuvo difícil ahí. El esquinero fue el número 24, Larry Brown, que estaba sobre el Rocket. Entonces los Raiders vuelven a tomar posesión del balón.
Viene la primera serie, la primera posesión para los incursores. Están casi al centro del terreno del juego, cerca de la estrella solitaria. Buscan otra vez más al cohete, va por detrás. Abre la línea y avanza aproximadamente 6 yardas.
Harvey Williams, como mencionábamos, agente libre el año pasado, duró casi 5 juegos para ganar la titularidad, y cuando la logró, pues ahí lo estamos viendo lo que hizo. Eso no fue nomás como en 10 juegos, casi llegó a las 1000 yardas. Fue un jugador pues que pagó muy bien para los Raiders, y vamos a ver qué clase de temporada ya como titular va a tener y jugando los 16 partidos.
No son nuevos estos encuentros, han estado entrenando juntos estos dos equipos por la última semana. Sin embargo, ahora sí están jugando ya posiciones de juego. Hostetler se va hacia atrás, hace una trampa ahí, encerrado, se va hasta la yarda 28. El corredor de poder, el número 34 de los Raiders.
Derrick Fenner, uno de los nuevos agentes libres de este año que consiguieron, tuvo muchos años allá en Seattle. Los últimos años ha estado en Cincinnati.
Taking advantage of the hole and picking up as much yardage on the play as he possibly could. On first down, about a yard pickup for Harvey Williams over the right side. That was a great block by Robert Jenkins on that run as well, Hank. Raiders offensive line, remember, is pretty much patchwork tonight due to all the injuries.
Well, you know, you want to be a tough football team. The Raiders have always had a tough, two-fisted, sledgehammer kind of an offensive scheme from a running standpoint. They want to recapture that personality, and they're trying to do that here tonight.
Rocket and Brown, wide left, Brown in motion, then back. Backs off set. Here comes Napoleon Kaufman, the rookie, the top draft pick of the Raiders, first time around the right side. Brought down at the 25-yard line after a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 6.
He's going to add a dimension to their offense. It's going to be very important.
Brown left, Rocket right. Draw play. Wrapped up. Right of the line of scrimmage. Chad Hennings and Greg Tremble applying the tackle, and that one went nowhere.
Well, there's a good illustration of what's happened so far in their personality. Initially was to run right at the defense. That's the thing that you have to do against the Cowboys if you're going to move the ball consistently. The worst thing to do against them is to try to run sideways because they react and pursue so well. When they run straight ahead, they're effective. When they go sideways, they haven't been so far.
Now Jeff Jager to attempt the 42-yard field goal. It's nearly blocked. It's long enough, and it is good. Jeff Jager, the reliable veteran for the Raiders. First field goal in this year from 42 yards away, and the Raiders have taken the lead. 9:45 to go, first quarter. Raiders 3, the Cowboys nothing.
La pretemporada de los Raiders es traída a ustedes por su concesionario Lincoln Mercury, que lo invita a manejar su línea completa de Lincolns y Mercurys hoy mismo. Y
in the box restaurant. Watch out, Mac. Jack's back. Raiders drive 9 plays, 36 yards. Jager a 42-yard field goal, and now ready to kick off for Oakland. Kickoff's going to be short, picked up by Herbie. This is a rookie out of USC. Up the right side. Tiptoes along the sideline, and a nice return by Herbie. Up to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Dallas. Joe King making the tackle for the Raiders. A look at Troy Aikman, now in his 7th year out of UCLA. Completed 64.5% of his passes last year. Aikman has been to the Pro Bowl 4 straight years. He's the only active NFL quarterback, in fact, to lead a team to more than 1 Super Bowl championship. Troy Aikman, this guy is the state-of-the-art stuff.
Oh, he's very, very special, and I think he'll probably play. That first team will play the first series, and if they don't do anything in the first series, they'll come back for another series, but that's about all it'll be tonight.
Aikman's pass is right off the bat to Kevin Williams. Williams getting a shot at the starting job this year. He has a 19-yard pickup. In the backfield, by the way, Sherman Williams starting tonight, replacing Emmitt Smith. And we'll take a look at the entire lineup for you. Williams and Moose, Daryl Johnston in the backfield. Irvin and Williams at the wideouts, and Jay Novacek at the tight end spot. Taking a look at the starting line for Dallas. Tuine, Newton, Donaldson in the middle, newly acquired this year, free agent. Stone and Allen. Right side. First down for Dallas, just past the midfield stripe. Aikman under pressure. Gets rid of it, intended for Novacek. And the Raiders got a very good push up the middle from Chester McLaughlin.
You talk about a good push, and you talk about a guy that's really a snootful trying to block him. Chester is really a great football player, and I think he's going to have a sensational year if he stays healthy.
He's joined on that defensive line by Harrison, and take a look at the linebackers. Frederickson, Beekert, both moved into starting roles last year along with Mike Jones. McDaniel and Lewis at the corners. Patrick Bates, Derek Hoskins at safety. Eddie Anderson will not play tonight. Aikman on second down. There's Sherman Williams, the rookie. Nice job of bouncing off the tackle attempt by Derek Hoskins and spun his way to a 2-yard pickup.
Hoskins anticipated the play very well. I couldn't tell whether he was blitzing on the play or whether he just had good anticipation, but he got through, got penetration, got the hit. Coming right into the hole, nobody touched him. Great reaction. He didn't wrap him up, however, and that's why he didn't knock him down initially.
And he's in his 4th year. Started 9 games for the Raiders last year. Emmitt Smith suffering a little tightness in his hamstring, and so just as a precautionary measure, they're going to hold him out tonight. That's Daryl Johnston, the only remaining back. Big fullback. Aikman, a quick timing pattern as it complete over the middle. It's Williams again. And a first down for the Dallas Cowboys down to the 27-yard line of the Raiders. 20-yard pickup
after the catch, and that's what it's all about.
Quick handoff to Daryl Johnston. You can hear the fans yelling "Moose" as he goes off the right side. Short pickup for Johnston, gain of about 2. Brought down by the Raiders, Derek Hoskins and Greg Beekert.
You know, the Cowboys have a very distinct personality. They don't use an overabundance of formations. They just line up and they say, here we come. You stop Emmitt Smith and you stop our outside receivers. They don't try to be fancy. They get the ball back to Troy Aikman. He pumps field, and things happen. That's what they do. They don't care what you give them. They got 11 against 11. They feel they can move the ball against anybody.
Williams is wide right, Michael Irvin wide left. Out of the I formation this time go the Cowboys. Quick pass to Novacek. Brought down by Hoskins. That guy Novacek, Hank, he is awfully reliable.
Well, you know what? He's like a pivot man on a basketball team. You know, he knows how to get open under the basket. This guy's the same way on the football field. He knows how to get open. And the most important thing about the ball is making sure that your head comes around very, very fast, because that's the heaviest part of the body. When that head turns around, everything's in sync, and he turns around quickly, makes the catch.
And as you can see, he caught 47 last year, utilizing the techniques that Hank was speaking to you about. There's Corey Fleming, a rookie in motion, right to left. Good protection for Aikman. Close to the first down. On the completion, and Novacek, he may have it. Bates made the tackle. Nice work by the offensive line. He's completed 4 of 5 in his opening drive. He moved the Cowboys very quickly a week ago. Completed 3 of 4 passes and a touchdown on the very first drive, and that was all he played last week against Buffalo. Hand off to Williams. The little dipsy-do gets him across the 15-yard line down to the 14. He looks pretty good. They're pretty impressed with him. He's built kind of along the same lines as Emmitt Smith, Hank, and they feel he's finally the guy they've got up now.
Yeah, they're trying to be conservative a little bit about his potential, but you can tell they think an awful lot of him, and they like him very, very much. They think he's going to fill the void if they have any trouble with Emmitt Smith.
Barry Switzer, 57 years old. There's his record last year, 12-4. Third head coach in franchise history. Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson preceding him. Michael Irvin wide to the right. They put Daryl Johnston in the slot to the right. Aikman straight back, looking for it all. Dallas, Jay Novacek. 13 yards on the play, and the Cowboys with their first touchdown of the night.
Hoskins covering Novacek on the play, man for man, and Novacek just beat him. That's all that happened. Here you see it now. Into the end zone, right over the top of Jones. Jones, the linebacker, is going back to help. And again, Hoskins is involved in the coverage. And the ball is thrown up in the air, and he makes the catch.
Now John Baker to try the point after. He was perfect last week, 3 of 3. Point after touchdown is good, and the Dallas Cowboys now have moved out in front with 4:42 to go first quarter. Cowboys lead at 7-3. This is the Raiders Football Network. Coliseum, Friday, August 25th. It'll be the Raiders against the New England Patriots at Stadium. For ticket information, call 510-762-BASS in the Bay Area. From San Jose, you can call 408-998-BASS, and from Sacramento, call 916-923-BASS. And call now, fans, because operators are standing by. A lot of excitement in the Bay Area, of course, about the return of the Raiders, and the Raiders fans, their players are looking forward to playing before a big sellout crowd if possible next week. Here's Bobo on the kickoff. Across the 20, leaps over a man across the 30, 35, and up to the 37-yard line. Nice return by Bobo. And Bobo did a very good job of bringing back the kickoff return. And did you see him change the ball? He had it in his right arm, changed it to the left arm before he got hit. Back with more action in a moment. This is the Raiders Football Network. Touchdown play for Dallas, Hank. A pulled groin, apparently won't return tonight.
Yeah, that's too bad, because he needs a lot of work, and they want to work with that top group as much as they possibly can. This makes him deviate from that plan, and you don't know how long it's going to be before he gets back.
Raiders now start from the 37-yard line. Quick drop by Hostetler. He's going to go deep. As a man open, streaking down the left side, and a great grab by Rocket Ismail. Brilliant catch by Ismail, and Hostetler laid it out there for him. 41 yards on the play, and the Raiders are in business. Looking, there's a penalty flag at the 42. We'll see what that's about.
Pump, which means he had good pass protection on the play. The ball is way up on top. He caught at the right at the point of the ball. A great job and coverage on the play.
All right, illegal contact called against the Cowboys. Raiders refuse the penalty. Big play for the Raiders. You can be sure with whatever changes are instituted in the Raider offense, the vertical game is still what this Raider offense is based on. And they have vertical type pass receivers, as you just saw from Ismail. Down to the 20-yard line and a gain of 2 yards. Harvey Williams. Brought down by Larry Brown. Short gain. Robert Jones also went on the tackle. Jones, #1 draft pick for Dallas last year. And there you're looking at, or rather 92, there you're looking at Mike White. Studious, intelligent approach that he takes to the game. Raiders 2nd and 8, I formation. Finner in front of Harvey Williams, and it's Williams. Bounces it right outside. Knocked out of bounds by Jones, but maybe just a yard short of the first down. Good move to bounce it outside like that.
I tell you something, Williams did a great job of getting as much out of that play as he actually did. That was strictly on talent and not blocking. Watch Wisniewski pulling on the play. They fake to the fullback inside who blocks inside. Look at Williams make a move, goes outside, got the ball away from pressure, runs through the traffic and comes out the other end. Gain on the play.
Great start for Harvey Williams. He's carried the ball 6 times for 35 yards already here in the first quarter. That's David Jones going in motion for the Raiders. A tight end. Here's Harvey Williams again, and man, as he stood up. Whoa, right at the 12-yard line, but I think he may have gotten the first down. Look for the forward progress on this. It is a first down. Chad Hennings making the tackle.
And watch the offensive line of the Raiders getting a push. And I couldn't quite tell who that was that came in. It looked like a Turk.
They give him forward progress here, Hank, to the 11-yard line. Raiders split Bobo out wide right. They're going to use 3 wide receivers now. Ty Montgomery and Darryl Hobbs are wide to the left. Fenner and Williams split in the backfield. First down. Hostetler going to run out of there. Look out, a great talent of his. He's down inside the 5-yard line.
See, capacity to feel pressure, and he knows exactly when to take off and run with the football. He did a good job that time. Got the ball down to the 5-yard line. Now it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to use a sledgehammer approach. They're trying desperately to recapture that running personality. See if on first down here they don't try to slam it in here.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you take a look at this, Hank, you can see the Raiders rushing not satisfactory last year, but that's one of the reasons why they got Derek Fenner, although he split out to the left side. Here's Harvey Williams, crashes down to the line for the Raiders. Now it'll be interesting here, I think, Hank, to see if they go to Fenner in this short yardage situation, because this is why Derek Fenner was obtained by the Raiders. This guy's got a nose for the goal line, and he's great in short yardage situations. He scored 15 touchdowns, 14 of them rushing in the 1990 season for Seattle.
I tell you, he'll have a great nose for the goal line if they do a good job of blocking at the point of attack and give him some running room. But they're playing smash mouth football now in this particular situation, and that's good. I like to
Let's see if Fenner in fact gets it here. No, it's Williams following Fenner to the goal line. Touchdown Raiders.
Yeah, he crossed the plane. He crossed the plane.
Again, he was stood up, but not before he had crossed the plane at the goal line, and Harvey Williams gives the Raiders their first touchdown of the 95 campaign.
Here he goes over the top, leaps straight up in the air. He finally gets to lean, but the ball has crossed the plane. No question about that. They get the touchdown. You know, when you run the ball in for the touchdown, it's a great plus for the offensive line especially. They love to run the ball and slam it at people and make touchdowns.
So Harvey Williams puts the Raiders on top. This is the Raiders Football Network. There's Harvey Williams, 983 yards last. You heard that message. He's talking Super Bowl already.
Yeah, he's full of happiness. He's got a lot of happiness in the air.
So this team is coming together nicely, I think, at training camp. Hank, we both saw the practices this week in Austin, Texas. The Raiders practicing with Dallas. they're very excited about playing and very confident about what they can accomplish.
Well, I think the important thing really is I'm talking to the Dallas Cowboys coaches, and they were ecstatic in their praises of how the Raiders were practicing, how hard they practiced, how well they worked, how well coordinated the coaching staff was, and what a great job of teaching the coaches did. And I think this kind of a game is an extension of your practice sessions.
Hervey brings it back to the 27-yard line. A new quarterback now for the Dallas Cowboys, just like last week. Aikman plays only one series. And here is Wade Wilson, but a familiar name in his 15th year now out of East Texas State. He played last week in the preseason opener for Dallas and played very well, completing 8 of 11 passes. Sherman Williams, the lone remaining back now for Dallas, and he gets the pitch following blocking. Good blocking on the left side by Dallas. That opened a nice hole for him, and he has a nice pickup of about 7 yards. Watch those guys out in front of Sherman Williams, Hank, because they really did a great job for him.
And all he needs is a little crack, and it's very obvious. The times he's run successfully so far in this game has been just a little bit the opposite of what Smith runs straight ahead. He's going outside. There's 2-8 making a good block from the inside out, providing running room for Williams. However, he better learn how to carry the ball away from pressure. Everybody was coming from the inside, and he had the ball in his right arm.
Jones and Bates made the tackle. 2nd and 3. Williams again, and Nolan Harrison has wrapped him up right at the line of scrimmage. Big Nolan Harrison, along with help from Jerry Ball and Greg Beekert. Coming to the end of the first quarter of play now, and that will probably be the final play of the first quarter. Successful first quarter for the Oakland Raiders. Players thinking about an opportunity next week to go back to their home at the Oakland Coliseum. Hear that roar of the crowd that was so famous for so many years. First quarter has come to an end. Raiders have the lead over the Dallas Cowboys at the end of one, 10-7. This is the Raiders Football Network. Dallas Cowboys, they had a 42-yard field goal from Jeff Jager, a 1-yard touchdown run from Harvey Williams. Dallas scoring on an Aikman to Novacek pass, 13 yards. James Trapp and Najee Mustafa have come in at the cornerback spots for the Raiders now, as the Raiders and Cowboys already beginning to make their wholesale here in this early preseason game. This is Wade Wilson. Has a completion on the right side. Brought down by Rob Fredrickson was Eric Bjornsson. Bjornsson, a rookie tight end out of Washington. Very versatile guys. We take a look here at the first quarter statistics. Raiders with a slight edge in rushing, a big edge in rushing yards, slight edge in total yards. Like that, 3rd down conversions, 3 for the Raiders. Dallas also 2 of 2. Teams have been moving it pretty well for what is very early, of course, during the course of the preseason. From the 45-yard line, Wilson under pressure, sacked. Aaron Wallace with the big pressure. They've moved Wallace now into a position back to that defensive line, that OE spot where he's backing up Pat Swilling over there. And this can be a position, I think, where he can utilize his pass rushing ability.
Well, the nice thing about it is you got 2 dogs over there. You got Pat Swilling, and then you also got Aaron. So it puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they better do a good job of containing these 2 guys, or else you're going to be in trouble.
Wallace is a guy who, when he can get moving upfield, can really get after that quarterback. Sherman Williams following Nate Newton around the right side, but he is buried after, and I don't believe he got back to the line of scrimmage. Short pickup to the 44-yard line. They say he's checking in at about 320 pounds now. That's always a mystery, of course, with Nate, but he's got quality to go with that bulk, to be sure. Drop by Wilson, plenty of protection. He has a completion left side. to Kevin Williams, knocked out of bounds by Trepp and short of the first down.
Pass protection on our last play was very, very good and provided Wilson with an opportunity to get back in the pocket, get rid of it nicely, step, throw, follow through on the pass.
They did not get the first down. It is short. 4th and about 1. Kurt Blodorn will come in to punt now, and Daryl Hobbs will go back to field the punt for the Raiders. Standing back at his own 12-yard line. Plenty of time for Blodorn to raise it high and deep. Fair catch call. And by Daryl Hobbs, penalty flag down. A 37-yard punt by Blodorn. Mike White very excited, of course, today to get his first opportunity as a head coach in the National Football League. 37-year coaching career. Been with the Raiders as an assistant since 1990.
Well, you know, the other thing, he's got to feel good about the fact that they play this long in this game. And one of the things they had to do, and they felt very strongly about, is they have to eliminate the penalties that they led the league in last year. I think it's 146 penalties.
156.
56. And so to play the first quarter like they have, they've only had 1 penalty. He's got to feel good about that. He's got to feel good about the fact that they've run so efficiently also, which is something else they try to do. And I think the other thing, they're doing a much better job of pursuing defensively, I think, to the ball, which they didn't do a good job of last year. It's very, very simple and basic, and you shouldn't have that kind of a penalty.
They moved the ball to the 41-yard line. Raiders have actually had a lot of officials out at the training camp. They're trying to give the players a situation where they can cut down that situation a lot from last year. Austin Robbins broke in very quickly to break up that play and send Sherman Williams down at the 44-yard line. A loss of 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 13.
You know, the other thing you watched them practice the other day, it looks like they've raised the tempo of their practice sessions. They're moving around and playing with a lot more enthusiasm, a lot of pep, a lot of vinegar, and seem to be enjoying practice sessions and what they're doing.
There's Austin Robbins out of North Carolina, 2nd year with the Raiders. Those guys who impressed people last year during the preseason. Trying to do the same this year and find himself a spot on the team. Good rush from the outside by the Raiders, but a completed pass to Kevin Williams on the right side. And Williams has a gain. It's going to be about 3 yards short of a first down. Kevin Williams in his 3rd year out of Miami. Opening the door now for Kevin Williams to be a real factor.
Yeah, I think Williams is a more versatile receiver. And then what they had.
Look at that play by Rob Fredrickson. Sherman Williams nowhere to go. And this Fredrickson last year, Hank, did he come on for the Raiders tremendously? You know, he started a little bit slow and then he really came on.
Looked a good pursuit. Got his eye on the target all the way through and then wraps him up, makes a nice tackle on the play. Very good reaction on number 53. Look at that coming in at a good angle, wrapping his arms around him and throwing him to the turf.
So Kurt Blodorn to a punt again for Dallas from better field position, though. Try to pin the Raiders inside the 10-yard line if he can. Blodorn raises it high and deep. Daryl Hobbs signaling for a fair catch, then gets away from it, and Blodorn's going to do a good job. The ball is down by Daryl Johnston after a 29-yard punt. Daryl Johnston, if you can believe it, is long snapping in these situations for Dallas. Raiders lead at 10-7 here in the 2nd quarter. This is the Raiders Football Network. And Billy Joe Hobart as the quarterback for the Raiders, going to get a real shot this year. Mike White likes the way that he's applied himself in the offseason. He's back into his own end zone to throw, and he's going to fire deep upfield. He's got James Jett out there. Jett can't quite get there. Raiders going deep again. They connected earlier in the game, and Billy Joe comes off the bench, and he fired one deep right away. Yeah, he put it up there nicely, and that's a good call in this particular part of the field. Most of the time, the Cowboys are playing man for man. They lock in on the corners, and the ball's up in the air while they double cover on the outside. Had he thrown the ball just a little bit sooner, he might have had a chance to make the completion. I like this kid. Now, Hobart was a 3rd-round pick, hasn't played a play yet in the NFL, and now we see running off left tackle Derek Fenner. The Raiders up to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. He wants to play. Billy Joe Hobart wants to play football for the Raiders. And this year, Mike White said that this is the year really that he has applied himself and done the necessary in terms of study to be an effective quarterback in the National Football League.
You have to give a guy like that an opportunity. Anybody that plays collegiate football and wins 17 straight games without a loss, you know he's got some talent and got ability. And of course, with it, the supporting cast had to be good, but he's an excellent looking prospect. Big, strong. He's got great escapability skill.
Calvin Jones replaces Fenner in the lineup and gets the football, but a very short gain for Jones. Dana making the tackle, rookie out of Illinois, 5th-round pick this year. Howard, winner of the '94 Butkus Award. There you see Calvin Jones, 2nd year out of Nebraska.
I like the way the Raiders are running on the field and off the field. Not walking off, but they're running off, jogging off. That's good.
That run by Jones not enough to get the first down for the Raiders. And now we take a look at Jeff Gossett, old reliable for the Raiders, 38 years old, but still last year just under 44 yards. Rod Alexander deep to receive the punt. Fair catch, has it at midfield, falls forward, and the Dallas Cowboys will take possession of the football in Raider territory after the 33-yard punt. Hang on, because a penalty flag is down on the near side of the field. At the 43-yard line, Cowboys have the ball, first down. Wilson fumbles right at the line of scrimmage. Raiders may have it. I think they do. Raider football.
See, that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that coaches have to feel good about, because they made something happen, recovered a fumble.
Matt Dyson, the rookie out of Michigan, 5th-round draft pick, will make the recovery here. Watch Dyson, 59.
And he scoops it up nicely. Lays right on top of the ball as it's bouncing around. He snaps it and puts it right under the number. Now they have great field position. Great field position. And let's see if they try to stick it in there and run the ball and try to make something happen and improve that running aspect of it.
Jones and Napoleon Kaufman are the Raiders in the backfield now from the 35-yard line. Hobert pumps twice. He's going to run this time. Down to the 26-yard line. Nice pickup by Hobert. To go first half. Raiders lead at 10-7. Hobert gives to Calvin Jones, and he is wrestled down fast by Reggie Barnes. Reggie Barnes wears 56. You might remember that another old-time Raider, Jeff Barnes, who lives up in the Bay Area now, who used to wear 56 for the Oakland and Los Angeles Raiders. Let's watch Reggie Barnes in action, though. Stop Calvin Jones after a short gain. 3rd and 3.
He got the shoulder pads on him that time, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And the Raiders now will split 2 men out wide left, Montgomery and Darryl Hobbs, but he goes to the right side. It's Napoleon Kaufman, very dangerous after a catch, and there he goes up the right sideline. Raiders. That's exactly why they got Napoleon Kaufman. And I'll tell you one thing about this kid. If he gets a pass and gets his shoulder squared and turned up that right sideline or left sideline, look out.
Yeah, you know, talking to Al and talking to Mike the other day, both of them expressed the same feeling about him. He said, you watch him, you'll love him. And he's a big play guy, and he'll give us the big play that we're looking for from an offensive receiver and running back.
Very dangerous when he catches that football.
He's very dangerous, period.
What a move he put on Floyd Fields to get to the outside. Point after by Jaeger is good. And the Raiders now expand their lead. Happy Napoleon Kaufman getting belly bumped on the sideline. 7.5 minutes to go. First half. Raiders up 17-7. This is the Raiders Football Network.
Good night. They gave a lot of pep talks and all that kind of stuff. It helps when he got good ability.
And he's got that. Plenty of it. Here's Herbie. Straight up field. 30, 40. Room up the left sideline. Jaeger knocks him out of bounds. Jeff Jaeger is the guy who really prevented a possible touchdown there. And a big return on that kickoff by Edward Herbie. Herbie out of USC, 56 yards.
Watch Jaeger now. Watch him come over from the side. Well, he stepped out of bounds, it looked like, didn't he? Didn't he look like he had his left foot out of bounds?
Well, they gave him the entire distance, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out of bounds.
Well, don't start calling for instant replay here, Hank.
No, no.
On the 38-yard line, what great field position here for the Cowboys. Quick pitch to Sherman Williams. Cuts it inside. And is knocked down by Matt Dyson. Dyson got a hand on him, slowed him up, and then the rest of the Raider contingent came up to finish him off, including Joe King.
You notice Williams again, as I mentioned earlier. As I mentioned earlier, he's running sideways a lot more than he runs straight ahead. And it's going to be interesting to see because so much of the Cowboy offense is based on straight ahead running, power running. He's got the ability, I think, to run straight ahead and also get outside, but they've been featuring outside and inside.
So after 1 yard pickup, 2nd and 9, I formation this time for Dallas. 5-step drop for Wilson. He may run it. Flushed outside, got it off at the last second to Williams. And he is wrapped up by Folston and James Trapp. Trapp there, number 37 of the Raiders, is a guy who won the NFL fastest man competition. There's James Trapp. He can really fly. Third-year man out of Clemson, did win that fastest title this year and beat Alexander Wright, the guy who had won at the previous 2 competitions.
Yeah, and there's another illustration of the speed of the Raiders that we just got through talking about just a little while ago.
Well, he was a member of the '92 Olympic sprint relay team, so that's fast.
You know, I tell you again, I mentioned it earlier, and I mentioned again, the pursuit of the defensive line and the linebackers has been very outstanding. Williams, to verify this point, Williams has carried the ball 8 times and made 13 yards. So that's an illustration of the kind of a job the defense is doing for the Raiders.
The Raiders' big homecoming to Oakland will take place next Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. against the Rams, and you can be there. For ticket information, call 510-762-BASS in the Bay Area. From Marin County, call 707-546-BASS, and from Los Angeles, you can call Ticketmaster at 213-480-3232. Call now. Operators are standing by, and I know a lot of you fans watching tonight in the Los Angeles area are still going to maintain your fan appreciation of the Raiders. Of course, the big fan base there and in Oakland. Here's Sherman Williams off the right side. Penalty flags flying.
Nate Newton that time did a good job of pulling for the left guard position, got through the hole and got a good block. You know, it'd be fun to go up to Oakland next week as an announcer rather than worrying about how we're going to try to beat the Raiders in Oakland. Like we've always done in the past, every time we're up there, we have a dogfight and who's going to win that game. It'd be fun to sit up in the bleachers, sit up in the press box, and do the game.
68 offense. Repeat 3rd down.
Now the holding penalty then against Dallas, called against Gradadoria, Mike Gradadoria, center. And you know, in talking to Al Davis about that whole fan situation, you know, when talking about the move to Oakland, he's, you know, insists and makes clear it wasn't a thing about the fans in Los Angeles. You know, the Raiders appreciate and feel that they have a big fan base in Los Angeles, but the facilities, important matter there. And I think, you know, the message has been sent by this whole scenario and probably by the NFL that a state-of-the-art stadium is needed in the Los Angeles area. Long bomb, not close to being completed, intended for Corey Fleming, a 2nd-year player out of Tennessee.
And that's a good point that you make about Al's feeling about moving the team to Oakland. You're right, exactly right. It wasn't anything at all about the fan aspect of it. It was just a question of the facility and making a decision to move back to Oakland.
Kurt Blodorn out of Cal State Fullerton being given an opportunity. The normal punter, I should say, is John Jett for Dallas. He's a little banged up. Blodorn getting a look. Back deep for the Raiders and making the fair catch signal is Darryl Hobbs, but the ball goes into the end zone. Hobbs running up as if to catch it, but then of course let it go into the end zone, and the Raiders will take over at the 20-yard line with 5:02 to go in the half of play. And Blodorn not happy with that punt at all. Hank, this year was an interesting draft for the Raiders, topped off of course by Napoleon Kaufman, who we've talked about. I like that 2nd round pick, Baron Robbins.
And Aska is also a very good pick. He's a very outstanding back, comes in the league with great numbers, and they have high hopes and expectations for him as a running back.
Mike Morton trying to make it at linebacker. We've already seen Matt Dyson make an appearance here tonight and have a significant part. As the Raiders have a first down, Wes Bender is in at fullback. Jones in the tailback position. It is Jones getting the handoff to Billy Joe Holbert. Runs into Alundis Bryce and is brought down by Bryce. Bryce, a rookie out of Mississippi.
He got about 5 yards out of nothing that time. Pulling left guard, and he outran him. He got detained a little bit, the guard did, and he ran outside and got upfield and picked up a nice gain in the play.
Well, Floyd Peters, we got to look at him before he kicked our camera out.
Well, I tell you something about Floyd. He's a great communicator and a very, very good teacher.
2nd and 6 now for the Raiders. Holbert rifles that one to Ty Montgomery, who somehow hangs on after a real blast by Marion. That's a good play by Ty Montgomery because Brock Marion really smacked him.
See, the great thing about him, they kept making and brings it in close to his body with good control of the ball, and that's why he was able to maintain good possession of it.
And the Raiders get a first down out of it. They keep the chains moving. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Raiders are up by 10. Here's Calvin Jones straight up the middle. Nice hole. Raider offensive line opening daylight for Calvin Jones. Brought down by Marion and Schwartz. The Raiders are moving that football on the ground tonight.
That's a big plus. Watch it. Straight ahead blocking. Look at the good blocking at the point of attack. The center did a great job that time.
Calvin Jones really, came on last year, Hank. First 8 games, he was not even activated for most of those games, but he was active the last 8 games, and you could see his improvement as the season wore on. First down for the Raiders now at the 48-yard line. Fake to Jones this time. Another completed pass for the Oakland Raiders, and again, it's Holbert to Ty Montgomery. Alundis Bryce making the 16-yard pickup.
We talked about Robbins on the last play doing a good job of blocking. They like him very much. Talking to Joe Bugle, they think he's going to be an excellent prospect for them.
Well, Barrett Robbins is a rookie out of TCU. As you saw in our graphic a few moments ago, he's a 2nd-round draft pick. He wears number 63, and he's snapping the ball to Billy Joe Holbert. Raiders put Bender out to the right side, leaving Jones the only remaining back. Jones tonight. 2-yard pickup.
Well, he looked, he's a rookie last year, and everybody had high hopes and expectations for him. He didn't get a chance to play that much, but I think he's a terrific looking back, and it'll be interesting to see how he progresses this year.
You're looking at Jones there, and the Raiders have taken moves to try to upgrade that running game, certainly. Hank, that you were talking about earlier tonight, they need to be able to run that football. They want to have a power running attack, be able to smack that ball right down opponents' throats, and they're doing a good job of it right now. Good play fake by Holbert. A little bit of trouble now. Edwards after him, and Holbert's going to run the football, and he's showing some of that athletic ability that he has as he ducks inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Jim Schwantz making the tackle. As we approach the 2-minute warning now, and there it is. 2 minutes remaining in the first half of play. It's been an excellent first half for the Oakland Raiders as you look at Terry McDaniel and Jerry Ball, and they're the quarterback, Jeff Hostetler. Raiders up by 10. This is the Raiders Football Network. And coming up at halftime, a news update from your local station. Then Hank and I will bring you highlights and a recap of the first half, which has included big-time running by the Raiders, Hank.
Yeah, he's a terrific teacher and has done a terrific job with the running game every place he's been. But they have to feel good about what they've done in the first half.
It's Bobo in motion from left to right. Here's Calvin Jones again. Looking for that first down on 3rd and 3. And he's going to be close. Clock is still running.
The thing about the running game, it takes a lot of time off the clock. And that's so vitally important. If you can't run the ball, there comes a time when you have to take some time off the clock and you can't get it done. And then you go to the Lawrence Welk offense, the 1 and a 2 and a 3 and punt.
Mike White, of course, was a college head coach at California and at Illinois. The Raiders did get the first down. Bender and Jones behind Holbert in the I formation. Here's Jones again running behind Bender's block right in front of him and brought down. And maybe for a little bit of a perhaps he got back to the line of scrimmage. That one went nowhere. Woodson starting strong safety tonight. Raiders held out a number of players, some of which we've enumerated. Jones and Derek Fenner back in there now for the Raiders. Split very wide in the backfield. Holbert's going to run. Plenty of room for Billy Joe, and he's all the way down to the 13-yard line for a Raider first down.
See, that's the nice thing about him is, you know, he's a contemporary quarterback who has great escapability skills. He's a terrific arm, and he's just going to get better and better. He's going to be a terrific quarterback for the Raiders.
The Raiders have called a timeout. Look at Billy Joe ramble.
And he does a good job of protecting the football. You see as
can do. Bobo and Sean Foster are wide to the left. Holbert pumps once, now fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. Raiders touchdown by Philip Bobo in front of Brock Merritt. And that has the Bluebirds out here at Texas Stadium.
1-for-1 coverage, Bobo on Marion, and they like Marion very, very much. And he made a good move to the outside. The timing and execution of the play was perfect. And as a result, it winds up in a touchdown.
There's Philip Bobo. You think he's happy? First-year player out of Washington State. It wasn't Marion, it was Clayton Holmes. I made a mistake. I erred on that play, Hank, but it was Clayton Holmes, not Brock Marion on the play.
I noticed on a replay, that's who it was, 47.
Point after was good, and the Raiders have zipped off to a 24-7 look. Let's take a look at it again.
Look at the pass protection is excellent. He's able to stay in the pocket, step, throw, follow through. The ball's right where it had to be thrown, and it's a touchdown for the Raiders. He rubbed it, you know, trying to get the ball heated up, I think, and it took a lot of time. Now they only have 25 seconds.
Squib kick by Jaeger, taken by one of the up men. It was John Davis playing on special teams, normally a tight end. And a short gain back on the kickoff to the 31-yard line. Billy Joe cooling off in front of that fan.
He's massaging that gum, too, isn't he? Oh, but they love, a lot of those guys love to play golf, and they play it very well.
Wade Wilson still at quarterback. He'll take a knee here, and that's going to bring the first half to an end at the Texas Stadium. And a very, very impressive performance by the Oakland Raiders here. And certainly will walk off very happy with what he saw in the first half to go. First third for the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, Emmitt Smith not playing tonight. We're ready for action. Jeff Jaeger kicking the ball deep. This one will be fielded by Edwin Hervey on the 2-yard line, and he does not get far. Brought down at the 15-yard line by Joe King of the Raiders.
And that was a good open field tackle. He wrapped him up, got him around the waist, and threw him to the turf. A good tackle.
Penalty flag down on the play. King, a fourth-year player out of Oklahoma, was with Cincinnati in '91, Cleveland in '91, and Tampa Bay in '92, '93. There's a holding penalty on the Cowboys, so this should send them back even further. And now we will see Jason Garrett come into action. We saw him in the preseason last year, and then played some pretty good ball during the regular season as well.
To the goal from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, when they had to have a big play at the quarterback position when Troy Aikman was hurt, he did a terrific job. I think it was against the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
His daddy was on my coaching staff. Orleans was an outstanding coach, and also now is a talent scout for the Dallas Cowboys.
The game Hank was referring to was that come from behind win that Garrett led the Cowboys to over Green Bay last year. Sherman Williams remains in at the running back position. John Davis is the tight end. Corey Fleming is wide left, and Kevin Williams back in there wide right. Garrett gives to Williams, and he's brought down by the veteran Willie Broughton of the Raiders. Broughton in his 9th year out of Minnesota. Very strong player against the run. He's a very rugged player, is Willie Broughton. There you're looking. There you get a shot at number 96. That's Alberto White. Here's Broughton, 97, who made the tackle. Broughton was with Indianapolis for a couple of years early in his career, then played right here with the Dallas Cowboys in 1980, came to the Raiders in 92. Garrett, left side, a wide open man up the left side. That's Bjornsson, the tight end. He's up to the 30-yard line, big gain, and finally brought down there by Matt Dyson. Eric Bjornsson, a rookie out of Washington, of whom they have high hopes, a very versatile player. 20 yards.
Bad tackling on the sideline. They had a chance to make the tackle or wrap him up, but they missed the tackle. As a result, he was able to make yardage on the play. Let's watch it out here in the left flat. He makes the catch, tucks the ball away nicely, makes an inside-outside move, makes the defensive back miss the tackle.
Got away from Land and Holman on that play.
It was Land, that's right, number 25.
Has broken out, nicely done. Nearly picked off by Bruce Pickens, another one of the Raiders' free agents obtained this year. Intended for Corey Fleming. 2nd and 10 at the 32.
See, Pickens got a good jump on that ball. He was a #1 draft choice a few years ago by the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, we've seen the Raiders oft times reverse 10. Garrett to Sherman Williams, bounces it outside. Nice adjustment by Williams on the play. Pickens wraps him up, knocks him out of bounds, but not before Williams has a first down. Real nice adjustment on the play there by the running back.
Well, the nice thing about the play was a handoff. All the other times he's carried the ball, most cases he was tossed the ball. This time he was handed the ball. As a result, when you hand him the ball, the quarterback has a responsibility to make sure you get the ball into the halfback's pocket. During that time, the back can be watching where he's running. When he has to catch the ball, he has to be so concerned about catching it that he doesn't have a chance to see upfield as quickly as he does when he gets the handoff.
Sherman Williams gained 1,341 yards last year at Alabama. Doesn't break a lot of long runs. The longest run of his career was 32 yards. So, you know, he had a lot of nice pickups along the way, 10, 15 yards. But he runs right into Aaron Wallace, and forget that.
And good penetration on the defensive line of the Raiders right up front. Stan Wallace got good penetration on the play, but the defensive lineman really got across the line of scrimmage in good shape.
There you see James Folston also helped out on the tackle. Folston helping Wallace. Sherman Williams, 11 carries for 24 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns last week for Dallas. Last year they tried to get guys who could back up Emmitt Smith, but really unsuccessful. Derek Lassick. Now we're going to have an illegal procedure here. Movement at the line.
Play like they're supposed to play. So far, this is what we've seen so far of the Raiders. You have to take into consideration just the first preseason game, but what we've seen has been very, very impressive.
Swing pass to Sherman Williams, and he gets it up to the 45-yard line before he's brought down there by Alberto White.
See, the thing that this team has to build on is the fact that they become a great football team. So you win games with talent, but you win Super Bowls with team. And that's what they have to build toward, and that's what Al Davis has always been. That's been his ultimate goal, to get a lot of talent with great speed, great ability, and this is what this team's going to be all about.
Sherman Williams has the ability to catch the football, as he showed there too, and that will help Dallas when he's in there. Garrett has the open man up the left side. It is Edwin Hervey, and he's driven out of bounds by Claudius, rookie. So rookie against rookie there, as often happens in the preseason games.
And Jason Garrett does not have a strong super. He does not have a strong arm, but he's very, very alert, bright, anticipates, reads coverage extremely well, and handles the short passing game as good as anybody.
Well, he's out of Princeton. He must be a bright guy.
Yes, he is. He's got a good schoolhouse.
From the 45-yard line now, and a 1st and 10 for Dallas, trailing Oakland 24-7. Sherman Williams on the pitch this time, little stutter step, but he's brought down by Aaron Wallace. He's getting a good working out tonight. Weary right now. He's a busy young man tonight.
And he likes that.
Backs offset this time. Garrett rifles a nice pass. Could be a fumble here. We'll see if they call it incomplete or a fumble. No, incomplete pass.
Yeah, didn't have possession of it.
Intended for Corey Fleming.
The other thing that's good about Williams is the fact that they like him. He's a very, very blocker.
Joe King happy about what happened on that play. He tries to get it to Corey Fleming here. Watch the hit.
Yeah, he gave him a good thump there.
Joe King with the hit.
Yeah, he got the shoulder pad. He got the shoulder pad in there, 6'2", 195, as you can see on the screen, but he's a strong kid.
He was with the Raiders last year in training camp, the exhibition season, but he was released before the league opener and hoping to stick this year. Hits like that, he'll have a better chance. Dan Land was coming in on a blitz, a long pass downfield is in, and there was a miscommunication on that, and the fans are angry because they do not call any penalty against Dan Land. They felt that Land coming in on a corner blitz was over the line too fast, but he jumped back and no penalty call. Brings up a 4th and 8 situation. The Raiders are going to get the football back. Kurt Blodorn to do the punting here now, standing at his own 42-yard line. Philip Bobo, who's was the proud recipient of a touchdown pass in his first preseason. Raiders is back deep to receive for Oakland. Terrible snap. Blodorn's in trouble. Coming to the right side, looking for a first down. He won't get close. Daryl Johnston is doing the long snapping tonight, replacing Dale Hellestray, who is injured. And Johnston has been known, as you see him walk off, as a guy who's rather wildly consistent. At least that's what he's shown so far here in practice. And the Raiders get the ball, first down. They lead it 24-7 with 9:37 to go. Third quarter of play. This is Raiders Football Network. Anything you want to develop, Hank?
No, I can't think of anything special.
Okay. Are we going to use this coming back? Yes.
I mean, you have to wait a long time to do it. Just run by him and throw it.
Well, we've seen that happen a couple of times here tonight. And now we see Napoleon Kaufman coming around the right side. He's an exciting runner to watch, even when he gets stopped for a short gain like that, Hank STRAM.
Yeah, he's got happy feet. You know, he really does. He's very happy feet, and they go in a lot of different directions. And he's got good balance along with it.
Napoleon, a fast, elusive home run threat. Greg Tremble is the man who made the tackle, along with Michael Batista. Ball up to the 50-yard line, 2nd and 7 for the Raiders. Billy Joe Hobart remaining at the quarterback. Gives the ball this time to Wes Bender, fullback out of USC. And he has a short pickup. Last year, Bender, a very tough, bruising blocker type, was inactive for much of the year. And then all of a sudden, the coaches were watching films and watching practice. They noticed this guy was really blowing people away blocking day after day at practice. And they started to activate him, and Wes Bender got some playing time, and he's getting a chance again this year.
And with the game being such a game of specialization, a guy like that has a chance.
At the Cowboy 49-yard line, 3rd and 6. Billy Joe Hobart, who had a perfect first half throwing. Underthrows Calvin Jones this time out on the right side. Clayton Holmes defensively. And the Raiders did not pick up the first down, and they'll have to punt the ball away with 8:14 to go in the third quarter, and the Raiders up by 17. That's the first time tonight, according to our stat man Dennis Mnuchin, that the Raiders have gone 3 and out this evening. Rod Alexander is back now to receive the punt of Jeff Gossett, standing on the 10-yard line. A high punt by Gossett. Fair catch called for and made at the 20-yard line by Alexander. Flag is down. 28-yard punt by Gossett, who was looking to try to put it inside the 20, and he got it right to the 20. But we'll have to wait to see what happens with the penalty flag. There's the kick by Gossett. Gossett was run into there a little bit, and perhaps that's Darren Studstill, I think, is the man who may have gotten him. There you see Studstill, 30.
Yeah, 5-yard penalty is declined. First down, timeout.
It's a 5-yard. It's not a roughing the kicker. It's only a running into the kicker, so it's 5 yards. The Raiders wouldn't have had the first down. That's why they declined the penalty. 8:07 to go, third quarter of play. Raiders lead at 24-7. This is the Raiders Football Network. In the third quarter, and we're getting some changes now for the Dallas Cowboys as Jason Garrett throws a great grab by Corey Fleming. Somehow he held on to that football, but he is hurt, appears.
Yeah, he's holding on his leg. Looks like he might have pulled a muscle. Usually that's what, when you see that happen.
16-yard pickup by Fleming, and he'll limp off of the field now. And Billy Davis is the man who will replace him in the lineup.
And Pickens is on the coverage and had him covered pretty well. The ball was just thrown perfectly. Yeah, Pickens had him faded in pretty good shape that time. The ball was just thrown where it had to be thrown.
Dominique Ross is the lone remaining back now as he throws out into the left side, and again a completion. This time to Eric Bjornsson, who's having a very impressive evening here in this game, a rookie tight end out of Washington. Bjornsson looks good, but this is the play before that we told you about with Corey Fleming. Look at that knee bend back.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah, it's a wonder knee, but evidently I don't really know what happens. We'll have to wait. Silly to speculate on that kind of a hit.
Austin Robbins coming off the field now slowly. Andre Bruce is in there for the Raiders. Willie Broughton as well. Alberto White on the defensive front. This is Dominique Ross, and he is smothered. Nowhere to run for Dominique Ross.
Really one of the fine young coaches, I think, in the National Football League defensively.
He's actually the lone holdover on the coaching staff for the Raiders from last season. Quick release by Garrett, and has another completion again to Bjornsson. A fourth-round draft pick has got to be impressing his coaches tonight.
Well, the guy that's doing a good job, as we talked earlier, is Jason Garrett. He's getting the ball off, a three-step drop, and getting rid of the ball quickly. And the ball's thrown right on the money between the linebackers, and he makes the catch, another nice catch. And they move the chains.
6 minutes to go in the third play. 3rd and 3. Dominique Ross remains the lone back. Garrett going to put it up downfield. Pickens perfect position, and Pickens intercepts the football. Nice pick by Bruce Pickens. Boy, did he play that textbook coverage by Pickens. Perfect.
Just perfect. You know, and I made a remark on the sideline the other day. I said to Al Davis, you know, that kid was drafted #1, as you know, by the Atlanta Falcons, and they weren't very high on him. He said, we're not interested whether they're high on him or not. Coverage was excellent, and the jump was perfect.
Raiders have the ball at the 21. Here comes Napoleon Kaufman coming wide, and he is one-handed down by Shante Carver. Second year out of Arizona State. They have hopes for Shante Carver. Charles Haley, I would think maybe one more year. Hank for Dallas, and then perhaps a guy like Carver can make his presence known.
Yeah, they're very high in those 3 defensive linemen. They're going to interchange with the current group of linemen for the Dallas Cowboys, but they're very ecstatic about their ability.
2nd and 12 now, loss of 2 on the play. Hobart has gone all the way since the start of the second quarter. Whips a pass over to the left side, dropped by Kaufman. And there may have been some running room there for Napoleon.
Yeah, he just threw it out in front, too far out in front. Kaufman back for the ball, and when he came back to look for the ball and try to catch it, it was too far out in front. That kind of a ball has to be thrown just about a yard in front of the receiver so he can catch it in stride and run with the football.
The Raiders bring another rookie receiver in, Mike Bellamy. Wholesale changes, of course, on the offensive line at this point for the Raiders. Raiders put out Ty Montgomery wide left. Bellamy and Sean Foster are wide right. 3 wideouts here for the Raiders. Napoleon Kaufman, the lone remaining back. Here's Hobart. So Kaufman that one and could not hang on. There's Benson on the cover, and we're very happy to look at this punt first for the Raiders. With Jeff Gossett getting it away back at the 5-yard line, and Rod Alexander back for Dallas. Standing on his 37, he's snowed under by James Trapp.
Yeah, we'll trade for
There is that speed of James Trapp, and we'll be back to talk more with Jerry Jones and to get his views on what's going on around the league.
Help us in some backup roles. And we're having some trouble in there tonight with our mistakes on offense. And certainly I'm not going to blame those corners out here when Kaufman got around them, because that's the speed that everybody knows he has. And I'm proud for Al and the Raiders. They have it. By the way, here's a Los Angeles guy, Southern Cal kid, Ed Hervey, that we think a lot of. And particularly after tonight, he's made 2 great punt returns. Al told me earlier, said, if you don't want him, I want him. I said, me want him out.
Yeah. 15 yards on that pickup from Jason Garrett to Ed Hervey. We'll take a look at this next play and then bring Jerry back into the conversation. That's a first down for Dallas now with 4:17 to go in the third quarter of play. Cowboys move into Raider territory at the 48-yard line. Jason Garrett still the quarterback. Fleming wide right. Dominique Ross gets the pass, and a swing pass from Garrett. Across the 40, inside the 40, and down to the 38-yard line. It looks like it could be another first, but a penalty flag is down.
Jerry, how did you feel about your workouts with the Raiders on a comparative basis, your team against theirs?
We feel that the Raiders probably have as much or more talent than we do, certainly in their defensive backfield. But what happens, we practice out there with 7,000 people 40 feet away from us. So those black jerseys and silver pants lined up across from us, we play at a higher intense level.
The penalty was an illegal contact penalty against the Raiders, and so the Dallas Cowboys move the chains again. It is 1st and 10, 24-7 Raider lead. They have the ball on the 37-yard line. We're visiting with Jerry Jones up here in the booth, and we'll watch the play here and then bring Hank and Jerry back in. Fleming wide right. Here's Garrett giving the ball to Ross. Off left tackle, some running room. And brought down by Mike Morton, rookie linebacker for the Raiders, after a gain of about 3.
Jerry, you've been in the league for 6 years and enjoyed success. Have done a wonderful job. In that short period of time, how did you get so familiar with Al Davis? I know you have a great deal of respect and admiration for him, just like I do and a lot of people around the country.
It starts right there. He's a founder, in my view, of the NFL. And so the other thing is, those days when we only won 1 ball game our first year, he'd call me every time. He'd say, just don't get down. I know you're being criticized a lot, but don't get down. And I'd laugh at him and say, Al, do you think I'm going to take my marbles and go home after this short? I said, hey, I'm too proud to be getting this ball from me. He's a lot of people misunderstand him. Boy, he's engaged. He's got a big heart.
All right, it's first down now for Dallas. Jason Garrett to Corey Fleming. Tackler overruns him. Nice move by Fleming inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line.
You know, the thing that people miss.
It's all toward winning for Al Davis. And I want to have that attitude. I'm so fortunate to get to be in this great game at a great time in history. And so that Al Davis shares that, there's no question in my mind that he's the most committed to winning person in the NFL. And he gets involved in every detail. And he's smart. When Al talks, I listen.
All right, I have a question for you too, Jerry, which I'm going to give you immediately after that play. Willie Broughton, a nice job in bringing down Ross on that play for no gain. 14-yard line, 2nd and 10, 1 minute to go, third quarter of play. Signals. Jason Garrett runs out of there, fires Fleming. Fleming looking for the end zone. He's going to be stopped short, but he's close down to the 1-yard line for the Dallas Cowboys. Corey Fleming. Jerry, if I may, we have a lot of fans watching in Los Angeles tonight, and of course, very mixed emotions, obviously, without there being no pro football now in Los Angeles this year as we take a look at that last pass completion. But what do you see in the future for Los Angeles as far as pro football is concerned?
Well, I have the same emotion. I was born in El Segundo. I have about 40 relatives that are from out there. When I go to family reunions, they say, but Jerry, we don't talk like you do. And I say, well, I was raised in Arkansas. But I have the same feeling about Los Angeles. And the NFL is going to have great teams in Los Angeles. It's critical. It's important. It's a must that Los Angeles have a 1990s NFL football stadium. It won't happen without that.
Dominique Ross scores the touchdown for Dallas to get on the scoreboard. I'm sure football fans in Los Angeles are heartened to hear that, Jerry, that there's an opportunity for football there again in Los Angeles. But obviously the message that you're giving, I think that the NFL gave, is that a state-of-the-art stadium is a must.
And by the way, they're not saying you got to give it to us. It's just that it is a must. You can't compete. The teams can't compete without that. But Los Angeles, great tradition of sports. Wonderful people out there. Again, I want all of my first cousins to be able to go to the ball game out there. They help finance the stadium to help get that done.
All right. Jerry, how long do you think, I know it's hard to forecast that, but how long do you think it'll be before that market gets another football team, and how long would it take to build a stadium?
This is sheer speculation, and as long as we're doing that, let's say playing not next year, but the year after that, maybe as early as next year, because you could play in a stadium. The key is how soon can we get some teeth in a stadium deal, and I think that could happen within the next 12 months.
All right, an 8-play, 63-yard drive. Dallas Cowboys. Ross going in from 2 yards out. That cuts the Raider lead to 10 points, 24-14. This is the Raiders Football Network. After the touchdown by Ross for the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, thanks a lot. This has been a rare treat for us to have an NFL owner, especially one like yourself, stop up here, and you've had such great success. We appreciate the visit.
Well, I think so much, of course, of the Raiders. Nothing would make me happier than to see this football team, the Dallas Cowboys, in the Super Bowl.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's great, and I appreciate the great friendship with you, Jerry. You've been very, very kind to me, and I appreciate it. You're always the same every time I see you.
Hank's one of the reasons I'm in the NFL today, too. So congratulations to you, Hank.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks very much, Jerry Jones. And the ball is going to be run out here. The ball was about 3 yards deep in the end zone. And despite that, A.C. Caswell decided, I'm going to run this ball out. Well, he wants a shot like everybody else, I guess. And the third quarter has come to an end with the Raiders on top by 10. The Raiders will have the ball 1st and 10 when we return to start the 4th period of play. It's the Raiders 24, Dallas 14. This is the Raiders Football Network.
Oh, no. He's on top of everything, that guy, I guarantee it. He's very much like... What? Oh, no. The other thing about it is he's so much now with a different personality. But from a competitive standpoint and a pride standpoint and doing everything he can for the Cowboys, he's the same way that Al is for the Raiders, you know.
Okay, Dennis, what do we have there?
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys 24-14. Billy Joe Hobart has gone 2nd, 3rd, and now starts the 4th quarter at quarterback for Oakland. Aaron Robbins, the rookie, snapping to him, and Napoleon Kaufman, the rookie, going outside, left side, and picks up good yardage, 6 yards on 1st down. Napoleon Kaufman. Take a look at the statistical story of the football game now through 3 quarters of play. Slight edge for Dallas in 1st downs, but the Raiders big in rushing. Dallas on top in the passing department. Total yards in the game just about even between the two teams. But the Raiders enjoying a 10-point advantage, of course, on the scoreboard.
And the great thing about it is the balance is so outstanding.
2nd and 4. Kaufman got the 1st down for the Raiders. Napoleon Kaufman looking very impressive here tonight. University of Washington's all-time leading rusher. Dallas had the ball most of the 3rd quarter, nearly 12.5 minutes. The Raiders about 2.5 minutes, so the Raiders try to reverse that here, get something going on the ground here in the 4th quarter of play. Hobart throwing upfield, and he has a completion to Foster, and Foster knocked out of bounds, but the Raiders have a 1st down on the play. Artis Houston makes the tackle, and Billy Joe Hobart is down.
I don't know. Can't tell whether he's hurt his arm because...
That's H. Rod Foster, who is the head trainer now for the Oakland Raiders.
Take a look at this, see what happens. Oh, he got hit from the backside, but it didn't look like that kind of a blow. It's hard to tell what happened.
It was Oscar Sturgis, the man who hit him. Hobart's had a nice night tonight, 6 of 10. That's H-Rod Martin just to the right of Billy Joe. There's Dr. Fred Nicola, team physician. As long as we're talking doctors and trainers and physicians, we want to pass along our best, of course, to Don Mosbar, who was injured this week and suffered a severe eye injury when he was poked in the eye by Chad Hennings during one of the practice sessions with the Cowboys this week. And Don is doing better, and well, I guess we'll get out of the hospital in a couple of days here, Hank, and we'll know a little bit more about him in a few days. Here's Napoleon. And Holbert's come out, Jeff Graham in, and Coffin trying to get outside right side, and is knocked out of bounds by Bryce. H-Rod Martin looks like he might be sending Holbert to the locker room. Not sure there. Willie Brown, one of the greatest of all time, and Mike White coming over to talk to him. Jeff Graham is the new quarterback of the Raiders, getting a shot tonight. Probably unexpected by Jeff, but I'm sure he's happy to have it. 50-yard line now is where the Raiders put the ball into operation, and here's Napoleon Kaufman banging straight upfield. You know, I think that is a good indication of what Napoleon Kaufman talks about when he says, I'm not a small back, I'm just a short back, but he's got some power to him as well.
You know, the great thing about him is those great backs, the great backs have the great ability to keep their eyes open and always be looking for a place to run. Mike Garrett was a great illustration of that. Mike had great feet, but along with it had great eyes.
On the 42-yard line, first down now for the Raiders. And it looks like Billy Joe is back into the game. There's Napoleon Kaufman, who's looked good tonight. 25 yards. 25 rushing, and of course that big touchdown pass that he had as well of 27 yards. Raiders on top by 10. Billy Joe back in the lineup for the Raiders. And Joe Aska is into the game for the Raiders. We'll talk a little bit about Joe when we get a moment at the running back position. Here's a pass completed to Foster, and he's down to the 31-yard line.
Well, that was a great illustration of pass protection that time. The offensive line of the Raiders really did a super job of picking up people at the line of scrimmage and providing the quarterback with an opportunity to throw the ball over the top for a nice play on the nice gain on the play.
Here's Joe Aska. Hank, you were talking a little bit about him before. He's the Raiders' third-round draft pick this year out of Central Oklahoma, and he's got speed too, big-time speed.
Yes, he has, and he got good strength along with it. You know, we also ought to mention that he's got one eye too. You know that, only one eye. But
childhood accident took an eye away from
him, and it doesn't seem to bother him at all. And he's doing extremely well.
Holding was called on safety Charlie Williams of Dallas. Ball all the way down to the 30-yard line of the Cowboys. Raiders have it 1st and 10. Aska stays in there at running back. Foster and Caswell wide left. Quick drop. Pass completion to Foster. Just a quick 3-step drop, and Holbert unloaded it quickly for the completion.
That was a sensational catch.
And the man catching it was Sean Foster. Artis Houston makes the tackle.
You talk about an adjustment. Hang around the rosy, he makes a half turn and makes the catch above his head. That's a tough catch if you're trying to catch it in stride. That time he had to change directions and still had to jump up there and make that catch. Great play.
Foster, a first-year player. He spent last year with Saskatchewan in the Canadian Football League. Now here's Aska running into a stone wall right about the 20-yard line. He was trying to get it to the first down marker, which was right at the 20. Let's see if he did. He's close.
You know, Holbert has done a good job. He completed 8 of 12 for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns here tonight. But he's made a great impression here this evening.
And it is a first down for Oakland. Eric Ball has come into the game now, formerly of UCLA, formerly with the Cincinnati Bengals. Running back getting a chance with the Raiders. So the Raiders have 2 backs in there now with Joe Aska and Eric Ball. And Billy Joe Holbert is going to ask for timeout right now. 10 minutes, 6 seconds to go in the ball game tonight. On top, controlling the football. They lead it 24-14. This is the Raiders Football Network. Here in the ball game, Raiders on top 24-14. They've got a first down at the 20-yard line. Hobart fires left side. Incomplete.
The other thing that's impressive about this game tonight with the Raiders, you know, they physically have won this game too. I'm not talking about the score. Physically, I think they've out-hit the Cowboys, and that doesn't happen very often.
That last pass intended for Al Smith. Mike White deep in study along the sidelines. Eric Ball coming out of the game right behind him. Al Smith wide right. Foster in the slot to the right. Bellamy is wide to the left-hand side. Hit as he throws. Hobart unloads, and it's incomplete, intended for Foster. Hobart took a smack that time. Darren Studstill.
Mike and the coaches have to feel good about what they've seen here tonight. Watch the hit. Hit him high enough where he got his hands through there and knocked the ball loose. And the other thing that I've talked about several times is the fact that so far in the game, they've only had 2 penalties.
That is very much different. 3rd and 10. Raiders on top by 10. We're in the 4th quarter, and Billy Joe Hobart is back to pass again. It is deflected in midair and incomplete. Hervin McCormack, who played very well against the Buffalo Bills a week ago. He had 3 tackles and a sack last week and drew praise from the coaching staff here in Dallas. Second-year player out of Indiana on the line. Watch him knock this one away.
It's a good outside rush. Gets off the ground and bats the ball up into the air. Here we see him again. Goes on the outside. Look at the tackle holding him around the neck. Wasn't called.
Now Jeff Jager to attempt a 37-yard field goal. He hit from 42 earlier tonight to give the Raiders a 13-point lead. Jager's kick is good. And the Raiders increase their lead now to 13 points with 9 to go in the ball game. It's the Raiders 27, the Cowboys 14. This is the Raiders Football Network. Raiders on top by 13 now after that 37-yard field goal by Jeff Jager. Due to overwhelming demand, season seats for the Raiders' 1995 regular season have sold out. But PSL personal seat license applications for the 1996 season seats are now being accepted. That's for next season. For information, call 1-800-4-4-TIX. The number 4, F-O-R-T-I-X. All right, here's Jager's kickoff. Gonna be bounce at the 10-yard line, taken by Hervey at the 20 to the 22-yard line. Well, we have not seen Emmitt Smith in action tonight, but there's a look at Emmitt anyway. I don't know, he is a fantastic running back, and look at those numbers, Hank, that he has posted in his career. Already, I mean, very early in his career, he's pulled up some unbelievable numbers.
Well, the great thing about him too is the fact that, you know, he plays so well when he's hurt. you know, last year made a terrible difference in the way the Cowboys played after he got injured, but in spite of that, he still did a terrific job in a championship game.
Scott Semptimphelter has now come in to play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So they've gone through 4 QBs tonight, and his first pass is a completion on the right side for Bjornsson. There's Semptimphelter. I don't know if I've heard of too many players, especially quarterbacks, who've come out of Lehigh. Have you? Have you, Hank?
He needs a wider jersey, too, to get that name on there.
He's the 4th quarterback used by Dallas tonight. Here's Dominique Ross, who scored a touchdown here earlier, and he tiptoes out to the 33-yard line. First and 10. It's not Ross, that is Graham, who just checked into the game. Now we're deep into the depth chart now. This is when it gets tough on the announcers. Graham is a rookie out of New Haven. 5'10", 212 pounds. He rushed last week for 31 yards, 9 carries. They're obviously looking for someone, and Sherman Williams certainly is the guy who has the inside track on that. Now to back up Emmitt Smith. And here's Willie Broughton wrestling Semptimphelter down to the ground. Play by Willie Broughton, the veteran who spent some time here in Dallas, 1989, 1990 seasons. 9th year now out of Minnesota. Willie's 30 years old.
Everybody thought he was really going to be an outstanding player, too, at that time. You know that?
Second down 9.
Very strong against the run, especially.
Yeah,
that's Broughton. There's Troy Aikman jabbering away. I think I said Broughton was from Minnesota. He's from Miami. 35-yard line, Semptimphelter. I think that ball may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. He was trying to get it out to Billy Davis on the left side. Herpin on the defense for the Raiders, along with Holmberg in that area.
The Raiders, John Herpin, number 40.
Let's see if that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
I think it was. Yep.
Willie Broughton.
Broughton got the big paw up there and got a piece of it.
He's playing a nice game tonight, Broughton.
I think he's playing with a great deal of effort. That's the thing that's impressive.
Saw Jeff Graham of the Raiders warming up. We may see him at quarterback again. Semptimphelter, his pass may have been tipped again up into the air and ended up going a little high and over the intended receiver's fingers, outstretched fingers. The Raiders have held Dallas again, and the Raiders in command of this football game. Leading 27-14, 7:43 to go in the ball game, and Kurt Blodorn. There's Rob Holmberg made a nice play. Holmberg, second year out of state, may find himself playing quite a bit this year.
I saw him a year ago when he was in training camp, and I really had great feeling about him. I think he's going to be a terrific player for the Raiders.
Al Smith is back. He fields the punt at the 16-yard line for the Raiders. Little stutter step, then runs into Dana Howard, and down he goes. 48-yard punt, 11-yard return. And when we come back, the Raiders will have a first down at the 26. 27-4 Raiders. This is the Raider Football Network. History. They reached 4 in a row back in the years 1970 through 73. Raiders have the ball now at the 26-yard line, and this is Jeff Graham at quarterback for the Raiders, and he gives the ball to Joe Aska. Young man that we were talking about a little earlier tonight. There you see Michael Irvin across the way. Didn't take long for Michael to get out of that uniform. He's no dummy at the temperature the way it is and the humidity.
He had a zipper down the middle that took the pants and everything fell off on one zip.
Thought Joe Aska might not get a chance to play, but he's getting a chance not only to play but carry the football tonight. We'll tell you why in just a moment as you see Graham out of Long Beach State pursued from behind and brought down. It's a sack for the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, we had a great player in Kansas City by the name of Freddie Arbanis, who was our tight end, who only had one eye. And he was an all-pro, did a fantastic job, just terrifically well under those circumstances.
Demetrius Edwards on that tackle, and Arbanis in there when that Raider-Kansas City rivalry was very much in existence.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And take a look at those numbers there of Michael Irvin. Hank, he's even got more yards than Jerry Rice over the course of the last 4 seasons. That's a surprise.
And a lot of people would lose a bet on that if you brought that question up.
On third down, Graham standing tall in the pocket. His pass incomplete. Intended for Sean Foster, who is also out of Long Beach State, by the way. And Trimble on the coverage for Dallas. So the Raiders unable to move the football here. Will have to punt it away. Rod Alexander back at about the 34-yard line of Dallas. Jeff Gossett just as steady as they come in the National Football League. Well, you have to be happy with the Raiders kicking game over the past few years.
Oh, they got a couple of great kicks.
It's just been so solid. The Raiders haven't even needed to bring in competition for them in the preseason. Gossett booms it away. Alexander calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 32-yard line.
You know, they remind me a little bit of our great kickers, Jerry Wilson and Jan Stenerud.
Well, you're at a great advantage if you have that kind of... all the way. Debbie.
Oh yeah, then Jerry Ball on the outside. He's on a soapbox. There.
Yeah, he's doing all the talking.
Doing a little clinic.
On first down, Rob Holmberg makes a nice play and a nice stop on Roger Graham. There's Holmberg again, the kid that you're so high on, Hank.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's going to be a terrific player.
The 7th round draft choice when he came out 2 years ago out of Penn State.
Second down. Along 9 needed.
On second down now, Felter. Pass nearly picked off. Threw it behind his receiver a little bit, and Herpin nearly had the pick. Intended for Billy Davis. Defensively, it's John Herpin, the rookie out of USC. Watch him make the play. Nearly has the pick. It's a bit too high. 3rd and 9 now. The ball on the 33. Felter under deep pressure.
Lost the ball.
Fumble recovered by Broughton. Tries to get up and run with it. Can't do it. Aaron Wallace forced the fumble. Hit him from behind. And Nolan Harrison leading the cheers on the sideline. Aaron Wallace forced the fumble. Willie Broughton recovered. Having a huge night.
Hopped right out of there. Aaron made the tackle and knocked it out of there for him.
Well, no complaints about Willie Broughton's performance tonight. He has really looked good in this second half especially. 5:23 to go in the ball game. The Raiders would like to move in for what would be a clinching score for them. Raiders going with a jumbo line of scrimmage here. They've got 3 tight ends in there. Aska gets the football. Actually, Wes Bender, a fullback, was over on the left side acting as a 3rd tight end. Willie's gleaming in the humidity tonight.
Hi, Mom. I love you, Dad, everybody.
Oh, somebody said hi to Dad. I'm glad to hear that, Hank.
Oak Cliff, boy, Pierce in the house. Oak Cliff.
Yeah, you don't hear that very often.
Second down, Graham gives the ball to Aska, trying to swing to the outside. Aska to the 16-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. Aska was excused from 2 days of practice this week. It's the reason we didn't think he might play tonight. His son was having a breathing problem in Oklahoma City, so he went back while his son got medical treatment to clear up that respiratory problem, and then he returned. But the feeling was, with having missed some practice this week, he might not be ready completely. They didn't want to just throw him out there, but he's getting the opportunity. Apparently, they feel he's ready.
Yeah, this is a nice opportunity for him to be able to play in this kind of a game. That last formation was a triple wing formation with a tight end, meaning tight end on the right side, wing back on the right side, and flank on the right side, which makes it a triple wing.
And now on 3rd down, Aska gets the ball.
Joe Aska
trying to drive for that first down. He needed to get to the 13-yard line.
And what they're trying to do with that formation, they're trying to get ahead on everybody, blow them off the line of scrimmage, and let the back pick wherever the opening might be.
Well, he got the first down. So the Raiders keep the ball, and they keep that clock running. They're 4:15 away from an opening preseason victory here tonight.
From the 13-yard
Raiders really have dominated the football game this evening. Look at that formation by the Raiders.
And look at Mike. Got a big smile on his face, whisper something to Joe Bugle. They all got to feel good about what they saw here tonight. Because as we talked earlier, talking to the coaches, they wanted to just hope that the team would react like they have been reacting in practice.
Well, the Raiders, you know, have made the playoffs, Hank, 3 of the last 5 years, but more really is expected of them. And so they're hoping here that they can make another jump up the ladder and advance perhaps more than just making the playoffs. They missed it last year in the last game. There's your old buddy Joe Bugle.
Yeah, there he is. And he did a good job of coaching the Phoenix Cardinals.
Here's Aska again. Raiders just controlling the football, letting the clock run down, penalty flag down. And it's going to be a holding call against the Raiders, and they'll move it back.
You know, the other interesting thing about the Raiders is the fact that they are kind of a global team. You know, you go around the country in all the places to sell football equipment and that kind of stuff. They talk about the Dallas Cowboys, but basically when you ask those people
62 offense, 10 yards,
what merchandise they say the Raiders.
Well, I think that's what Jerry Jones was kind of referring to when he said, you know, compared like the logo to the Mickey Mouse and Disney, that type of thing, and known all over the world. Speaking of Disney, I thought it was a lot of fun. Al Davis this week jokingly sent a message to Michael Eisner after the Disney Cap Cities, ABC Cap Cities deal was completed. He sent a message to Michael Eisner, said, hey, anyone can buy a network. It's tough buying a football team. Here comes Al around the right side, inside the 20, down to the 18. And Eisner sent a message back to him. Michael Eisner sent a message back to Al Davis, said, I might have that football team in the future. We'll see.
He's smart. It looks like he would get a very good football team, too, at this stage. You know, there's no way in the world that Al Davis would ever get rid of that football team. He's too committed to the Raiders.
Raiders, by the way, will play Dallas in Oakland on November the 19th. So a good little rehearsal for that one. 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. The Raiders on 3rd and 14. Wes Bender, Joe Aska in the backfield. Aska straight up the middle. Nice pickup. All the way down to the 6-yard line, but he's going to be just short of the first down. And we are going to reach the 2-minute warning. That'll be the last play before the 2-minute warning. The Raiders in command. Next week, the Raiders and the St. Louis Rams at the Oakland Coliseum. The big home tickets available for that one. That is going to be a lot of fun. All right, 2 minutes to go. 2-minute warning announced by the officials. 27-14 Raiders. This is the Raiders Football Network.
Yeah, let's look at Barrett Robbins. He's really done a terrific job. He's a center. Let's take a look at him a little bit more. Robbins, the center, 63. Yeah, because he's really played a good game, and he's 6'3", 305.
He's right in the middle of the hand of the huddle.
Yeah.
Raiders are going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, that's what it's a great exercise here right now. What is it, 4th and what? Yeah.
27-14, the Raiders on top. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. The Raiders are going to go for it here on fourth down.
This is a good exercise right here. Mira Robbins really has done a very, very impressive job here tonight. 6'3", 305 pounds from TCU. Boy, he looks like a prospect. Look at all the room on the left side. Right left.
Raiders have one wide receiver out left. That's Foster. Graham calling signals. The handoff to Ascot. He's going to be wrapped up, thrown for a loss. The Raiders will not get the first down.
They ran where all the folks were. There was nobody on the other side. They ran where all the people were.
Barrett Robbins, by the way, wanted me to remind all the girls just out of college that he is single. He wanted to get that message across tonight.
Raiders tonight, 41 shots, 174 yards, 4.5. That is strong. Especially against a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who was the #1 team against the rush last year. Or no, in total offense they were #1.
Saw Jeff Hostetler there. Mike White looking on. Minute 55 to go in the ball game. Felter hands the ball off to Roger Graham, and Graham smacks out right up the middle. And I'm sure both teams will be happy to run out the clock at this point. Back to the locker room where it's a little cooler.
Talk about balance of the Raiders. 174 yards, as I mentioned, rushing, and 154 passing. Total 328. Very, very impressive balance on this game tonight.
That's Roger Graham you're looking at, rookie out of New Haven. Across the 10-yard line and out to the 12-yard line, maybe the 13. Roger Graham, by the way, 1993 Harlan Hill Trophy as Division II's best player. And that may be the NFL's best player, Emmitt Smith.
1 minute remaining, third down.
There's a guy who can take over a football game, as he's done on so many occasions. Last year, 21 rushing touchdowns, 1,484 yards. 3rd and 6 now for Dallas. They let Graham run. He gets some running room this time. He's across the 25-yard line. Darren Butler making the tackle for the Raiders.
Running out the clock.
A lot of these players were throwing names at you here, which may not be too familiar. We tried to fill you in on most of them, but some of these guys may in fact be people who make the team. A lot is taken into account as we look at Billy Joe Holbert, Jeff Jager, by the coaches and how the players play at practice too, not only these games. Here will be the final play of the game, and it is Graham brought down by Herpin, John Herpin out of USC, and that's going to do it. The Oakland Raiders have performed very well here tonight in their opening preseason game, and Mike White, I think he isn't happy right now. He may not have a big smile on his face. I know he's smiling inside. Mike's got a win in his very first preseason game as a head coach in the National Football League, met by Barry Switzer. Those two walk off, engaged in a lively conversation, and the Raiders have got them victory.
And Barry Sanders said the other day, pardon? Yeah, Barry Switzer said the other day in practice, I said, what do you think about the Raiders? He said, I'm going to tell you something. They got as much speed and they've got as much ability as any team that I've seen. Quote unquote, that's what he said.
All right, the Raiders, a very successful night tonight. The preseason is underway. The Raiders have a win, 27-14. This is the Football Network. When do we get to talk? Okay. Okay. Those are recorded, right? When can I ask Hank of when it was tonight? 144 yards passing, 172 yards rushing. Billy Joe Holbert, 8 of 15 tonight. Harvey Williams carried the ball 9 times, 40 yards. Good overall performance, Hank. What do you think?
Yeah, it really was. The balance was good. You know, the balance, everything that they talked about doing coming into this game prevailed here tonight. And that's got to make the coaching staff feel very, very good. Also the players, they got to feel good about the way they played, the way they practiced has paid off. And it's obvious they've got a chance to be an outstanding football team. You got to be careful. Last year at that time, they were very impressive in their first game against Denver. And we all talked about what a great team they're going to be. And they went, you know, I think we put a lot more pressure on that team than deserved to be done. Then they lost the first 3 games. They lost 3 of the first games in September, and that put them in a bind. So you know you got to temper this thing, but I think they're on the right track. But they got they got a lot of talent.
Well, we'll see some of that talent on display when the Raiders make their Oakland homecoming next Saturday at 1 p.m. against the St. Louis Rams. Don't miss any of the action live from the Oakland Coliseum right here on the Raiders Network next Saturday at 1 p.m. Thanks a lot for being with us here tonight as the Raiders defeat the Dallas Cowboys 27-14. For Hank Stram, I'm Rich Marotta. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next Saturday.
Three-step drop, 1, 2, 3. Still throwing tentative to me. I mean, he's just not firing the ball. He puts it there okay for Campbell, but it's just not coming out with the body and the momentum behind it that I think he has to.
Floats this one deep sideline. Owens makes the catch, stepped out of bounds. Derek Owens out of Mississippi, up 48 yards. Nice touch from Musgrave on that one.
Got that one up in a hurry. He just lines up. Chris Hall was a world leaguer last year, led the league with 8 interceptions, just gets turned around completely. He got caught peeking into the backfield. Anytime you can get a defensive back peeking at the quarterback, it's going to be hard for him to stay with anybody going down the field.
Owens just got the toe on the line. First and goal from inside the 6. They're everywhere, folks. Musgrave throws wide in the flat. Intended for Campbell. And we have an injury. And it's veteran Jim down for the 49ers. We've got a timeout. 7:40 to go, third period. 10-7 Denver.